Welcome back to It's Kayla's Life. Today I'm going to be talking about my birth control journey and how it's affected me, what I'm on now, what I do now. Basically just talk about everything that nobody really wants to talk about and hopefully make it more comfortable of a topic for other women to talk about so we can all talk about it together, honestly, because I know I'm not the only one that had specific issues with like the IUD, for instance, and the pill. So the more women we can bring together and talk about these types of things, the better, in my opinion. So that's why I'm going to talk about it. If you're new, make sure you smash the like and subscribe. I do post weekly. I'm going to be posting 3 times a week. If you guys have specific suggestions that you want me to talk about, anything you want to see, definitely let me know. I'm just starting the channel, so if there's anything specific, like I just said, please send me a DM or drop it in the comments because I'll probably do it. Also, if you're not following our Instagram, not ours, I'm so used to saying ours from Steph and Kill. If you're not following my Instagram, the link for that will always be in the description, so you can do that. Fair warning, I do talk a lot about fitness on my Instagram, so that's basically what I post majority of the time, although there is positivity and lifestyle and all of that other fun stuff. Also, grab your drinks, wine, energy drink, water, whatever you want, because we're gonna be sipping together and talking. I'm drinking a Bang. It's the strawberry flavor. It's all right, honestly. Bang is definitely one of my favorite energy drinks out there. What's yours if you drink it? Because I definitely want to know. If you have any good suggestions, let me know in the comments what your favorite energy drink is. I do love coffee, but if I had to choose for one to give me more energy, definitely an energy drink all the way, because I feel like coffee gives you a withdrawal, you know? So like you're feeling good, you're moving with coffee, and then all of a sudden you're like, ugh, like I'm tired, I need another cup of coffee. Anyway, off topic. I'm just gonna jump right into it now after I just chatted. Just gonna tell my story about how it started and I don't know, get very open with you guys, and hopefully you feel like this is an open place to talk about it as well. Back in high school is when I first started to get on birth control. I wanted to get on birth control because I had a heavy period and I had really awful cramps. The cramps were so bad I felt like I had to go to the doctor. It was very heavy. It was all of the unpleasant things for the first couple of years of me first getting my period. I honestly didn't get mine until, I think it was, I'm trying to remember. It was later. I think I was like 15. Honestly, it was the summer of 8th grade going into freshman year. I got mine way later than all of my friends and stuff, and I thought there was something wrong with me for that, but I learned that everybody is different, and I'm actually thankful I didn't get mine till later in my life. I started to get on the pill because that was just what was recommended and what everybody said to do. I really didn't do any research back then. I didn't look into things more. Like I just kind of went with what people were telling me to do, which was the pill. I had heard some bad things about, I don't remember the name of it, but it's like the little bar that goes in your arm. I don't remember the name, but I heard really bad things about that, so I was way steered away from that when I first got on the pill. So I got on the pill and I was on that for, dang, I want to say like 2 years maybe, until I was about 18 or 19. I got on the pill like a year and a half after I got my period for the first time. Then I was on it for 2 years. So yeah, the timeline sounds about right. When I was on the pill, it started to give me really bad migraine headaches. I got nauseous all the time. Like I was nauseous quite often. Honestly, I didn't realize how often I was until I was off the pill. I just didn't feel like myself. I feel like I had more anxiety and I was getting more mood swings, and it did help how heavy my period was, but it didn't really change much because I still got really awful cramps. The cramps, they were there, but not like the entire time my whole period was. So like, well, now I get mine like 4 days and only like 1 to 2 days is like heavy or bad. And back then, before I got on the pill, I would have it bad for all 5 days. When I was on the pill, it brought down like my heavy days to like 3. I noticed a difference there. Like sure, there was some benefits and there was some things that I didn't like about it, but at the end of the day, I felt like it was doing worse for me than it was doing good. You know what I mean? So the migraines were something that really pushed me to get off of the pill, because the migraines, they were like 5 times a week. Like before I hit puberty, I would get migraines. So migraines weren't something that I was like not used to. I still get migraines, but back when I was on the pill, I would get migraines like literally all the time. It was so bad. For those that get migraines, you guys know that the bad ones, they stick around and they like knock you out. Like you can't do anything, you know? I ended up going to the doctor and talking about other options for me for birth control because I had just met Stefan and I obviously wanted to still be on birth control. I wasn't planning on having any babies. So I heard about the Mirena. I was kind of like in a helpless situation. Like I was just like, I really want it now. At the time I had stopped taking my pill for like a month, I think. And so I was like in need of some sort of birth control because I was sexually active and I just didn't want anything to happen. I ended up getting the Mirena. The appointment was scheduled like a week after I went to the doctor to talk about options. So I jumped into it real quick. I didn't do much research. I just went with what the doctor told me about how it'll be good for 5 years and some women even don't get their period when they have the Mirena and all that. So I was like, okay, yep, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then I heard about how the percentage was like 99% effective. So I was just like, ding, that was like an extra bell in my head that told me to just do it. I was given like pills to widen your cervix or something. So I took them and I started getting cramps and I was like, man, like, okay, this is kind of hurting, you know, like normal cramps, but it wasn't too bad. When I got the Mirena, it was like probably the worst pain I've ever endured in my life, honestly. I was like screaming and it was just awful. Everybody experiences that differently. So if you got the Mirena and it didn't hurt for you to be inserted, then God bless you. Like I envy you for that because that was the most awful experience of my life, to say the least. And I told the doctor, I was like, okay, well, if this is how bad it hurts to have babies, I literally don't want any babies. And she looked me dead in the eye and she was like, honey, this is way worse. And I was like, okay. So that kind of eased my mind a little bit about that, but I got put on some pain meds because the pain was so bad and it lasted for like, I don't know, it lasted for like 3-4 days. I think that's how long it lasted. I mean, this was like 6 years ago now. So yeah, I was bleeding pretty bad and I ended up having my period for the first 6 months of having the Mirena, and then all of a sudden it just stopped and I didn't get my period for the next 4.5 years until I got it taken out this last March. I didn't have it once. The issues I had with the Mirena didn't come up right away. I feel like it took a little while for them to start popping up, or like I didn't really notice how many issues I was really having until I was off of it. Looking back at the decision to get the Mirena, yeah, it was a good choice. I don't have any babies now and that was my whole goal. I wanted to help my periods, if anything, have them go away like the doctor said, and to not have any babies, and it did that. So I'm very thankful that the Mirena worked in my favor that way. But I will say it's really hard to put into words. I've been trying to put it into words all morning to how to talk about the Mirena experience. During my time of the month, I would get cramps, sometimes spotting, like brown spotting every now and then, and like mood swings. So whenever my time of the month stopped, when it got inserted, is when that time of the month, every month, I would get like symptoms of my period, but it would never come. And then another thing is I feel like the Mirena caused me to gain a lot of weight. I don't know if necessarily the Mirena itself made me gain weight, or if just like it's supposed to be hormone free and whatever, something made me crave junk food. I just felt like all of my cravings were like way different during the Mirena, and there was just a whole bunch of differences in things that I wanted to eat versus things I didn't want to eat, what made me feel good and what didn't make me feel good. I feel like looking back, it was just honestly such a drastic change. I didn't even notice it at the time. So when I got on the Mirena, I think I was about like 150, 160 maybe. When I got off the Mirena this year, I was about 180, but during the Mirena, my highest was I think 230. So I had ended up gaining a lot of weight, like 70 pounds. And like I said, I don't know if it's caused directly from the Mirena or like what caused it. My decisions obviously caused it, but I'm not sure like what influenced the decision more. That was a major thing for me, was the weight gain. That made me to be like in my feels quite often. I got anxiety about it. I just was lazy, unmotivated. Once I started to gain the weight, it was like a domino effect. So it wasn't a good situation for me. Another thing with the Mirena is that when you would have intercourse, it would hurt or you'd be able to feel it. And that is something that bothered me for a long time, but I thought it was just like normal. So until I got off of it, I didn't realize how unnormal it was to have that feeling during it. My libido was way low. I never wanted to do anything. I just wanted nothing. It was just awful, honestly. Like, it wasn't anybody's issue for the reason of me having a low libido. It was literally just myself, and no matter how hard I would try to get it up, it wouldn't work. That is something that I struggled with personally a lot during that time, where I got to start to thinking about how is something wrong with me? Like, I don't understand, you know. Before I started to think about how the Mirena could be the issue to all of this, I legit was starting to think that something could be wrong. I think it was like last year I decided that I wanted to get the Mirena out, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to get on more birth control or be on no birth control or what, but I decided to get it out in March. That was already 7 months ago. I was so nervous to get it out. I hadn't got my period for 4.5 years. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how my hormones were gonna be. I literally had no idea what to expect. It coming out wasn't nearly as hurtful as it was going in. All you had to do was just cough and she just pulled it right out, which was like super easy. I got some major cramps within the first minute, but that was about it. Literally, as soon as it came out, I felt like a whole weight was like lifted off of my shoulders. I can't even explain the feeling, but it felt like a weight was legit lifted. It was an amazing feeling, and I didn't get on birth control. After that, I still am not on birth control. What I do use though is something called Natural Cycles. This isn't sponsored or promoted or nothing. I saw somebody on Instagram use it, and I was like, oh, maybe I should start using that when I get the Mirena out. My 5 years of having the Mirena was October of 2021. Since my 5-year mark, I was planning to get it out in March and get on Natural Cycles. And Natural Cycles isn't hormonal birth control. It's not even any sort of like birth control that goes in your body or nothing. It's strictly based off of body temperature. So every morning you take your temperature and it tells you whether or not you're fertile. It gives you like a whole calendar, and you can track like your sex drive, you can track your periods, you can track how you're feeling, like if you took like a morning after pill, if you're hungover, if you're sick, like it tracks everything. And it's honestly 93% effective if you follow it correctly. It's something that's worked really well for me. I just take the temperature every morning, and it tells me if I have a green day or a red day. So if it's like a red day, it means you need to use protection, and if it's a green day, it means like you're good. Like it's like a very rare chance of you getting pregnant. So I've been using that for quite a while, and it's worked better than any other birth control I've ever been on. I feel more normal than ever. I probably will never ever go back on birth control. I do want to hear like your stories about birth control, and I want to hear like what worked for you and what didn't work for you, because my experiences with birth control were not good. The two that I was on was the pill and the Mirena, because I was on the Mirena for 5.5 years and the pill for like 2 months, or like 2 years. A little under 2 years. And I want to hear like your experiences, what worked for you, what didn't, and if you can relate to anything that I went through, or like what you're doing now that works, or let's just talk about it in the comments. I just want to hear. I feel like that's basically my birth control journey. I wanted to talk about it again because I feel like I'm not the only one that went through a really hard time with birth control and putting our bodies through so much. I know I'm not the only one that has gone through bad things with birth control, and I just wanted to normalize the topic a little bit and talk about what I actually went through and how I actually feel in my personal opinion. And yeah, so if you guys like this type of content, definitely let me know. I really hope this is beneficial to some of you that are sitting here like on the Mirena or on the pill thinking like, what is wrong with me? Why am I never in the mood? Things of that nature. Just know that you're probably not the only one. You know, I went through all of that as well, and I know a lot of other women probably do too. So yeah, let me know what other kind of content you want to see. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe, because I drop videos weekly. Yeah, and hit the bell so you get notified when I post. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.